Let us continue. Be'ezus Hashem. Yesterday we said we're going to start now different types of mixtures that we left off with yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the different types of mixtures that are negaya to be boira. In other words, we said, again, keep on reiterating the same point, but it's important. There are two conditions for boira to apply. For something to be a shaila of boira, there needs to be two conditions. Condition number one is there has to be two types. Cannot be the same type. Condition number two, there has to be a tarovis, there has to be a mixture. When you have both of those together, equals a shaila of boira. Now, be'ezus Hashem, towards the end of today and tomorrow, we're going to go into detail into exactly what are the ways that boira is mutter. There are plenty of ways that you could do boira in a way that is permitted. We have to understand why. Why is it mutter? That we'll get to be'ezus Hashem the end of today, the beginning of tomorrow, b'siyata d'shmaya. We want to discuss today, Moish, the different types of mixtures that are available for people. So let's start. Yesterday we talked about big and small, we talked about different types of pieces, if you can see it, you cannot see it, whatever. Now I want to discuss, Nochi, what if you have, for example, things that are attached one to the other. Right, let's take a classic one, an easy one, Shloimeh, is if you've got a piece of fleish and some fat on it. So obviously everybody wants to get rid of the fat. There are people, I understand, there are people that eat the fat also, okay, but there are also many people that remove the fat and eat just the meat. Can you do that on Shabbos Kodesh? Avadanish. Why? Because the fat is something you do not want, providing you don't want it, and you're taking away from the meat, so that's considered to be boira, even though it's only attached. There's no like four pieces there, there's no mixture there, but the mixture is a little dove on the place that it's attached. That's the mixture. So if you remove it on the place that it's attached, bang smack in the middle, then you have a problem of boira. We'll see later on. What if I move it together with some meat? We'll get to that. But right now we're just talking about the general the situation over there. Next, in this country, I don't think you get this in America. I'm not sure. I don't think you do, right? You get a sticker on a challah in America?
Yes. Oh, we don't. I've never seen. You're living in the wrong parts.
We need to take it out of the bone. But you're eating it now anyway, so it's going to be okay. No, faket. Everything in America is mizonos because nobody wants to wash, because then nobody has to bench. There's such a thing as hamotzi bread in America? No?
Carb free.
Everything's mizonos. No, there are stickers or not, Lamaisa? No, yes. Depends if it's sesame or... All right, let's move on. Are you allowed to take a sticker of a challah? Okay, very negay here in Israel for sure. Many of the challahs have stickers on them. Ilan, so what's the din? Mutter also to take off a sticker on Shabbos. Avadanish. Why? Shaila boira. It's a shaila boira. When you take the sticker off, Eliyah Dov, of the challah, what happens? That's boira. Again? Very good. Shimon asked a gavaldige kasha. Why isn't it like a piece of carrot on a gefilte fish? Big and small. What's the answer? Now say the answer. It's stuck to it, Moish, right? Yidel, yeah? It's stuck to it. Not you, that.
Why would that be better?
When something is stuck one to the other, that is a problem. The point of connection, the point of the stuck, that is where it is boira. Okay? Which means that even though you're right, it's a big challah and a small sticker, so be'etzem, if it wasn't stuck, there'd be no tyrovis, there'd be no mixture. Since it's attached, anything that's attached is considered to be a shaila boira. Oh, can you take the challah from the sticker? That's good. They have this kasha. What happens if, okay, this is whatever. Let's say you have a good piece of liver or ayam mit zwiebel. You got the ayam mit zwiebel and you find a nice hair. Mamish.
Such a nice hair.
Schmack. It's very geschmack. Right? Or let's say, for example, in chicken, this is very again, in the skin of chicken. Now this depends on which haksha you buy. Depends on how much hair you'll find on the chicken skin. Are you allowed to take that off? Right? Because that will be. Or let's say the stem of an apple, or of a cherry, or of a grape. All of these things, by the way, are connected, which means that they are boira because there is a shine of a tyrovis. So a person has to know.
Part of apple, a good part of apple.
And Hanami. So Ramotcha said, why can't you just take the good from the bad? So right now, I don't know any Atayim on boira. I have no idea. We have to get to Atayim soon. We'll get to Atayim, we'll talk about it. But in Hanami, it could be if you take the good from the bad. Unless you learn, Machlokes Mishabur and Shulchan Aruch Harav, what's the good guy and what's the bad guy. So Machlokes Mishabur, okay, now we're getting to Lomdus. It's way too early in the morning for Lomdus now. But like when you take a can of tuna and pour off the oil, Is that called? I'm just Rabbi Isai. Shimon, you're going to love this. Is this Shnei Dinim? Is the pshat that I'm taking the tuna from the oil, or is the pshat I'm taking the oil from the tuna? Nafkamina, do we stone you or not? Kleine nafkamina, just a very small one. Just a very small nafkamina, right? Do we stone the guy or not? No. Say no? Oh, okay. Let's move on. Finished. Sticker comes off with crumbs. So you're saying there's a heter of taking off the bad guy with some good guy. I don't know any heterim right now. We'll have to talk about it when we get to heterim. I have no idea. We'll get to it. Look it up in the book. Let's go, Rabbi Yisrael. Let's move on. This is, I think this is, anyone that learned Boira, by the way, will agree with me. And I remember Rafal Zatzal telling me the same thing. He was maskim that this Be'alocha is probably one of the hardest Be'alochas that there is in all of Mishnah Berurah. You look this up in Shin Yates. It's a shver Be'alocha. If I'm not mistaken, the Sefer Aruch Shabbos at the back has a whole explanation on how do you understand the Be'alocha. I don't think he goes through any other Be'alocha in the entire Aruch Chaim of Mishnah Berurah, except for the one that we're about to discuss right now. So what I'm giving you, Rabbi Isai, is the surface level of a very, very deep discussion and machlokes and understanding of what is the halacha about a pile of items. Okay? This is Nageya. If you have a pile of plates, and I need the middle one, or let's say I have a pile of tablecloths, I need the middle one. I have a pile of, not chas v'shalom t-shirts, because nobody needs those on Shabbos, but if you've got a pile of white shirts, and the only white shirt that I need for Shabbos is in the middle, the cufflink one, not the chas v'shalom, not the white weekday one, right? The one that I use for Shabbos Kodesh. Am I allowed to take something from the pile? Or for example, this morning I received at 3:13 a.m. I got an email from somebody that said, He's following the Shiurim on Boira now. He remembers it from last time. Yosef, you're listening, this is Gavaldik. And he said that he remembers last time we did the series, he wanted to remember to ask this kasha. And he said, in every shul, as we know, there are many parsha sheets, all different sheets on different Zachar and different Torah from Heilige Tzadikim, and it's wonderful and it's amazing. It's really, really beautiful. I just wish, I wish that they would print davening on those sheets, then everybody will at least be able to daven when they have the sheets. That's Gavaldik, no? So if you've got a pile of those sheets, you've got all different types of sheets there, are you allowed to mingle through them? Are you allowed to separate them? Are you allowed to decide which one I want now, which one I want for Shabbos afternoon? How does it work? So, Lamaisa, again, this all goes according to this Be'alocha that we're saying right now. Generally, the simple halacha is that a pile is considered to be a mixture, which is a big chiddush. Because if you've got a pile of Svarim, take a whole pile of Svarim, you can clearly see which one is the Gemura, which one is the Tanya, which one is the Zoya, which one is the Rishalmi, which one, you know what they all are, you can see it. A pile is considered to be a mixture. So yes, a pile is a mixture. One second, let's just get through this. Even though they don't obstruct one another like a regular mixture, it is considered to be a form of a mixture, even if it's in a neat and orderly fashion in that case. However, there is a heter that we find over here that we don't find in any other mixture, which the Be'alocha tells us over here in Shin Yates, and it's based on many different shitas and different colors, which we're not going into at this moment of time because it's going to get complicated. But the simple idea, and I'm going to give it to the way it is. Let's say you're going to a pile of photos. Now, you want to go through the photos, maybe you want to check them out, maybe you want to separate them, maybe you want to sort them out, whatever it may be, or even pile of cards, and you want to sort them out or organize them. All of these things, when I talk about cards, I was talking about the cards from the Gabba to give out for the Aliyahs, for Shteitzach, right? Obviously, I wasn't talking about the other one. No, okay, there wasn't. What other one? Oh, exactly. So there's a special heter Be'alocha tells us that if you pick up some of the pile, remove it, and take the one that you want, that's good. Now, we generally don't have a heter like that in any other mixture, but over here we have such a heter in that case. That means I'm allowed to remove that which is blocking me to get to the one that I want. So if you're looking for a specific parsha sheet from a specific tzaddik that you want to go to and you want to understand, so you could lift up the other ones in order to get to the one you want and pull it out, that would not be a problem whatsoever, especially if you're using it now, then for sure that would be a good idea and that would be fine. Now, Rabbi saying, we have to... Huh? What's that? What, they had piles? They're small, they're not... in economics, so then the different colours will be a problem. Because obviously you're sorting it out, that would be a problem. Unless you're using them right now, which on Shabbos... well, it's not even a gear. We like to talk about the gear things over here. Moving on, Rabbi Isai. Okay, let's just finish with this. There are, on Shabbos, Kodesh, 3 ways that if you use these 3 ways, everything becomes mutter, which by the way is a big chiddush. If you look in Shin Yotes, there's a hakdama to Shin Yotes. Now those of you that are familiar, which is everyone in Mishnah Berurah, you're familiar with the fact that very few times does the Chofetz Chaim feel the need to make a hakdama, an introduction. It normally just goes into it. Sometimes he makes an introduction, which means that it's very shver. What's the other time that everybody's familiar? Everybody, this is like famous. Reish Nun Gimel. By Sheikh Hazara Hatmana, the Mishnah Berurah goes to a Hakdama to understand what is the Machlokes Rabbanan and Chananya. It's very shver. It's very hard to understand that Gemara. But maybe the Mishnah Berurah goes to it. Over here, Menachem, the Mishnah Berurah goes to a Hakdama in Shin Yotes, and he says very clearly that there are 3 conditions that we'll have to explain tomorrow. But there are 3 conditions. If you have all of these 3 conditions, there's no bayra. If you miss one of them, it's a daraisa chayv skila. Now, whoever asked the kasha, I don't understand. What is this? Is this another loophole? Here it is. We found the loophole. Really, you're not allowed to do bayra. Loophole. If you do it like that, then it's okay. Chas v'shom. It's not a loophole. The Gemara says this very clearly. The Gemara says that the whole way they used to do bayra, for example, I'm just going to give you one mahalach, is la'itza, was for storage purposes. They used to do bayra in the fields. They would separate the kernels from the, the stones and the pebbles. They would put it in the warehouse. They'd have to be sorted. They'd have to be, distributed. It was a situation of, bulk that was done for a long time. Nobody generally did bayra in the Mishkan for Shona for the purpose of their house, for their cooking, for their meal. So if that's the case, any time you turn it into a situation where it's not bayra la'oitza, where you're not doing bayra for future, for big purposes, for bulk distribution and everything like that, then it's not even considered to be bayra. It's not the pshat you did bayra with a heta. You didn't do bayra. In other words, Chazal basically made us the gedorim of what is bayra. And they told us, if you miss these gedorim, you didn't do bayra b'chal. It's not the pshat you did bayra with a heta. You didn't do bayra moish. There is no bayra in such a case. So therefore, when you have the 3 conditions that we will explain in detail by Ezra Hashem tomorrow morning, then the pshat is you're not doing bayra. So what are those 3 conditions? We're all familiar. And again, Rabbi say, these shurim, especially in bayra, are very similar to the Mesilas Yesharim when he writes in the Hakdama, that I'm going to tell you things you know already, but it's important just to, chaza them over again, nochamal. The 3 conditions are, if it's miyad, that means it's done for immediate usage. We will have to define what that means. If it's done biyad, with your hand, we would have to define, does that mean you're not allowed to do a fork? And if it's done, good guy from bad guy, oichel mitoich psoiles. If you have those 3 conditions, then it's mutter lechatchila to do whatever you're doing. Just as an example, if you've got, for example, a whole pile of socks, and you've got Shabbos socks or weekday socks, there's a difference. You would never wear the weekday socks on Shabbos and vice versa. And you take your socks on Friday night and you put it on the side. Chas v'shalom, I don't want to wake up my roommate tomorrow morning, Shabbos morning, so I want to prepare my clothing. That would be a shayla of an issa d'oraisa, because it's not miyad, it's not for immediate usage. Whereas on Shabbos morning, when you take the socks in order to wear it immediately, and it's done with your hand, and you took that which you wanted from that which you don't wanted, then avada, it's okay. And that's more lechatchila. So in Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we're going to go through, but Ezra Hashem, all of the conditions, we'll try to get through all of them in exactly the details that they are, but this is so crucial. Rabbi say, bayra happens every single Shabbos of your lives. There's going to be a shayla bayra. If you put this into your mind and you recognize and you remember what the conditions are and how to do it and what the examples are, I guarantee your Shabbos Kodesh will have a greater shmira. But Ezra Hashem, join us tomorrow for more.